Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program featuring Susquehanna Valley newsmakers interviewed by Daily Item reporters. Today's guest is Dr. Thomas Scholvin, the new superintendent at Shikellamy Area School District, interviewed by Francis Scarcella.
Up your new car game in March with a new Kia for just $99 a month from Sunbury Motors Kia.
Wanna see you in a Kia. Sunbury Motors Kia.
You heard right. Lease a 2019 Kia Forte LX for just $99 a month for only 24 months. Drive away in a 2019 Kia Soul for only $149 a month. With deals like this, you'll have to hurry in to get in under the buzzer.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Francis Scarcella, and we're being joined today by Shikellamy Superintendent, Dr. Tom Scholvin. First of all, thanks for coming out and sitting with us today. Let's get right into it. Shikellamy has had a bunch of superintendents over the course of the last few years. Mm-hmm. So you get a phone call about coming in because you are a Sunbury native, right?
Northumberland.
Right. But you graduated from Shikellamy. You're a Shikellamy guy. So you get a phone call. You're down in Florida at this time. You get a phone call to come back to Shikellamy, and I'm sure you followed Shikellamy throughout the years. Mm-hmm. What was your first thought?
Why me? Why now? Actually, it was a former student of mine who is now the executive director of the Blast IU, the Williamsport, and she has a cottage on the same lake where I have a cottage in the summertime. And she had asked me one time if I'd be interested in helping out with districts that are looking for a superintendent. And I said, well, if the right one came along. So she informed me of Shikellamy need. So I called Schick and I told him, I said, if you have somebody in mind, somebody local, fine, no problem. I said, but I'd be interested in talking with you about helping out. One thing led to another. Within a week, I was hired.
And you came back. Yeah.
Yep.
So you walk in the door. And again, you've been following Shikellamy for a long time. You get hired in November. What are the positives and the negatives that you saw as soon as you get inside the district?
Well, I was amazed at the difference in the building structures, how much the high school had changed. What was at my time there as a student was cafeteria is now a library. What was library is now the offices, the gymnasium switched around. So I was taken back by that, how much the high school has expanded. I was pleased to meet people that, number one, I hadn't classed or I had coached, and going to athletic events and concerts, that kind of thing, run into people that were classmates of mine, and they're now seeing their grandchildren perform. A disappointment that I had was the turnover in administration, and I feel that the staff had held the district together. It's with 6 different buildings, we were sort of floating around with 6 ships without a rudder because we haven't had a longevity of leadership. And I think one thing we had to do, I saw that we had to get the 6 people working together as a team and operate under one umbrella of a philosophy. Like I told the principals, I was a principal at one time. I like the job, but I don't want it anymore. You do your job. I'm here to help you, support you. And the principals, to varying degrees, had different kind of experiences. And I thought that my experience in the past, I was 23 years as a superintendent, 2 other school districts, and I was hoping that what was successful for me back in the 80s and 90s would also still work today. And I feel like we're heading in a good direction as far as expectations, making our expectations known to the staff and the students, and acknowledge that kids especially make bad decisions here and there. But we got to make them accountable for their decisions.
As do teachers and administrators.
We learn from our mistakes and we move on and try not to repeat the same mistakes. And I think I'm tickled. I mean, the staff has welcomed me. The kids have been great.
Well, you're visible. I mean, that's the one thing that we've heard is you're visible. You're at a lot of sporting events. Mm-hmm. You go. You go to when anybody's getting honored. You were just at the city council meeting, so you're very visible at different functions. And again, a lot of people will, when we get emails and calls about it all the time, is that Shikellamy gets a bad rap in the valley for being, whatever it may be. And do you see any of that, or do you see why? Because there was something you said to me the other day when you said that there's a lot of positive things that don't get recognized here. So talk to us about that. What are some of the positive things that you've seen as you walked in the door?
Well, just walk in any classroom. There's instruction going on. The hallways. My thing with the kids is talk to one another. Put those cell phones away. There's a lot of kids walking around the building who feel like nobody knows they're there. And I'm trying to get the school leaders, the kids, and the faculty to acknowledge these kids. Just say, "Hey, how you doing today?" And that might be the only time somebody talks to those kids all day. I remember one of my first days here in the middle school, 3 young ladies were walking by me, and I said, "Good morning, ladies. How you doing?" And they turned and said hi, and then walked. And I heard one girl say to the other, "That's the first time I was ever called a lady." And they made an impression on that. And I still see them in the hallways, and they say hi. So I think we get so tied up with our own personal problems or issues, and we don't look at problems, other people's problems, from the perspective of their situation. And that's what I'm trying to get people to do, just stand back, look at the big picture, and help each other out here.
They've talked about, there's talk about a whole new complex for the high school that's been being discussed. Are you in favor of something like that?
Well, we have staff and board members looking into that possibility. I understand last year or the year before last, there were like 6 options presented to the school board. My immediate thought was, well, the new building is out of the picture. I think we can take the existing building, knock out the 90-year-old portion, and then build something in there. But then when we start adding on programs I think we ought to be doing, which we could talk about later on, it got to the point where the addition is going to cost as much, if not more, than a whole new building. So that is one option we're looking at.
Have you been involved in new school construction projects?
Yeah. Both districts where I was superintendent, we had construction projects. So it's hard today because of the state used to have a plan-con process where new construction, you got more reimbursement from the state than you do with renovations. Well, right now, you don't get anything from the state. So it's all in the local taxpayer. So those are certainly things you have to look at. So we're looking at a building program. We're looking at can we do more with less? For example, we have 4 elementary buildings right now that are K through 5. And we're studying the feasibility of narrowing it down to maybe 3 buildings, and instead of K through 5, because we're looking at 6 years difference there, and that's a formula of years. And we're looking at the possibility and feasibility and the cost of perhaps having a K through 1 center at grades 2 and 3 and grades 4 and 5. That we could focus on the needs of those kids, have transition programs, have remedial programs, and better special ed services in each building. More focus for that age group. And again, we're just looking at that possibility.
Well, let's get into all that because I know you have a bunch of programs that you were talking about that you wanted to bring to Shikellamy, and we'll be right back with Shikellamy Superintendent.
Sunbury Motors Kia also has up to $10,000 off MSRP on a 2018 Kia Cadenza and $8,000 off a 2019 Sorento LX V6 with convenience package. Everyone's a winner with Kia because all new Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Up your new car game in March with Sunbury Motors Kia. Routes 11 and 15 in Hummel's Wharf.
Leases are for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year, $3,500 total due at signing or equivalent trade. No security deposit required. Tax and tags extra. Discounts include all applicable rebates. Offers expire 3/31/19. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see retailer or go to kia.com.
Welcome back to One on One. We're joined with Shikellamy Superintendent Dr. Tom Scholvin. You were saying that you had some ideas on programs that you've saw throughout the years and that have not been here in Shikellamy. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one is the SRO program, School Resource Officer. In my last time I was working full-time as a superintendent, I was after the 9/11 event. And that was sort of going in the opposite direction where I was taking that district. We wanted to open up the doors, get more people in, get the senior citizens in, and so forth. So I sort of fought off the school resource officer business at that time. However, today, I think we're one of the very few districts that don't have a school resource officer program. So we're not necessarily looking at all safety. We're looking at educating the kids as far as relationships with the local police and volunteerism. So we're looking real hard at that. We visit other schools to see what they have. And
So would a program bring an officer in? Or
Yes.
how does it would bring an officer in, and then it would be part of a class? They would actually go to a
They
class?
would be in all the buildings, like we had the DARE program at one time. Just develop a relationship with
One
the
in
kids.
each building, or just one and then it would travel?
One that would travel.
One no travel.
Or possibly two, maybe two part-time.
Sure.
or
Would they be
whatever.
just school police or part of the Sunbury Police Department as well?
Well, that we're looking at all options
Looking
right
at all
there.
options.
We're looking at the best of the best out there and try to eliminate growing pains that other districts have had and trying to learn from them how to do things.
Well, since you've been here, how many lockdowns have we had in this short amount of time? I mean, did you find? Yeah, two. So, I mean, two in that short amount of time. How many have you had in those 23 years?
None.
So that's what I'm
None.
saying. So you find it to be alarming?
Yeah, personally, I guess I shouldn't be saying this, but I think sometimes we have a knee-jerk reaction to something, an event that's maybe 40, 50 miles away. Safety is the best policy, but there again, the way it works, somebody calls in 911, then we get the phone call. We're not asked, we're told. And we're not told the reason, we're just said lockdown. And then, of course, people panic, want to know what's going on, and we can't tell them anything because we don't know. So I think there has to be a meeting of the minds or how we handle these type of things. Just my short time here, my personality is I don't like being told to do something by somebody that I don't have any control over. That's just my personality flaw.
That's why you don't go into politics. You said, right?
I'm not a politician.
You're not a
no.
politician.
But some of the other programs we're looking at the SR program, and we're looking at an at-risk program for at-risk kids that either maturity-wise, behavioral-wise, or academically, they're at risk of not graduating. So we're designing a program that would be in a high school for those kids, for whatever reason, aren't making in a regular classroom, and design a program specifically for them. That may have a component if they have good behavior and have good grades, then we can try to get them out in the community, getting some apprenticeships or internships, like for example journalism or working out a car garage or auto body or whatever it may be, to try to get them more career oriented and thinking about their career rather than just what's going on today.
So these are things you want to do before, unfortunately, you are leaving the school district at some
Yes.
point.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that. So they're in a search right now for
Yes.
a superintendent.
Yes.
You have no desire to stick around in Shikellamy and
Well, the longer I'm here, it's going to be harder to turn over the reins to somebody else. I'll be honest with you. I love Shikellamy. The staff is, and the kids has just been wonderful to me. Open armed.
Are you in on the process for you're in on the interview process and
We're accepting applications,
Accepting applications.
and I am reaching out to the applicants and telling them that my history, that I've been a student here, I've been a teacher here, I offer a unique perspective of what I feel the needs are, and I said if you're interested in talking with me over the phone or personally, and I've had a half dozen take me up on that. And
so you've had a lot of applications already?
right now we have about 13 or 14.
13
Yeah,
from around the state or local?
around the state and 2 other states right now.
In 2 other states. Wow.
So
Any local from any other districts? I gotta try.
Yeah,
I gotta try.
Yeah, but I'm not telling you who. But yeah, we've been in communication, and I'm pleased. I told the board, I said I'm uncomfortable here talking about my replacement because I'm not quite ready to give it up yet. But I have a lady who I am married to and have been married to for 46 years, living in Florida right now, drawing up divorce papers if I stay here too long.
So you basically have come up here part time, and you knew that going in. But
Yep.
let's be honest. Now that you got back into the flow of things, 23 years you were a superintendent all over the place. You've mingled and mixed with
Well, I wasn't all over the place. I was at 2 different districts.
two different schools.
Right.
But you've mixed and mingled with kids from all over, right? I mean, and that seems to be your passion as far as bringing out new programs, as far as helping with a new complex if need be. The police officer in the school. How tough is it going to be for you to leave? Are you getting the itch again to come back and
No, no. No, I'm a 69-year-old superintendent, and I don't plan on being a 70-year-old superintendent. I love it, or I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. It felt good I wouldn't have taken any job. I have family in town. I've had my nieces and nephews come through the school. Matter of fact, I still have my brother's granddaughter still in the school. She's doing a good job of hiding from me.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't have taken just any job. I just thought that this is my alma mater, and this is the place that got me started as far as giving me a good education, getting in the community, help raise me. And I thought this is a good way to get back to the community.
But you did say you weren't going to leave until they had somebody in place and ready to go.
Right.
Are you going to stay on to help? I know in certain school districts in the valley, sometimes they have 2 superintendents. To help train people.
The board
and
asked me
stuff like that.
if I stick around and mentor. Well, the summer's going to be much easier for me because I'm up here in the summertime anyway. And that's where I'm staying now. And I have a cottage outside Picture Rocks, and I'm commuting back and forth every day. So I'll be up here this summer anyway. Depending on the strengths of the incoming superintendent, if the board would like me to mentor them or help them get started, more than willing to do that.
You'd stay on.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, they want to hire it before the end of the year. You're looking at before the end of the school year, or you don't know.
Ideally, they would like to maybe late June, July.
Maybe June, July. So the start of the next school year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the next school year, I guess. I'd say half the present applicants are superintendents, currently superintendents. Some are assistant superintendents, some are principals who have not been a superintendent but have good experiences. So the board is going to look at the strengths of everybody, and I'm trying to be honest with them as far as what I feel the needs of the district are, and explain to them the programs I'm trying to get initiated. Now, one of the concerns I have, and the staff has, and legitimately so, is that, okay, we're getting on board, we're investing all this time in the programs I think we ought to be looking at, and then somebody else comes in and says, okay, we're going a different direction. And they've had that now for over a decade.
Right.
And I
Now
understand
you would try
that.
to stop.
And I assured the staff that I'm going to get done here what I can get done. It's not, I shouldn't say we collectively. Because the brain power, when I met with my staff the first time, I just said, look around the room. Look at the education and the experience in this room. You tell me there's a single problem in this district has that we can't collectively solve. And it's a communication thing. It's welcoming differences of opinion. And I'm not threatened by that. I want other people's opinion. I want them to have input. You make them part of the decision-making process. They're going to ensure things get done and get done right.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, and we wish you the best of luck in whatever it is you end up doing.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching One on One. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition.